Why do I write romance? For me, it's just really an adventure to see how these two complete opposite people, and why they're going to end up together. It's just it's fascinating to see human behavior and the ups and downs and the challenges. And then finally the happily ever after. That's what romance readers live for, is that. So it's fun. My favorite part about being a writer is thinking about the people who are going to read my books, and it's going to pull them out of their everyday life and have them experience something they never would have experienced otherwise. Because that's how it was for me. I grew up reading historical romance. It's kind of funny because I grew up reading historical romance, a lot of them, and I don't write that in that genre at all. But it really was fun to be transported to these long ago times and places, and that's what I want to do for other people. I started taking myself seriously about my writing career at the end of 2013 is when I actually finished my first book and actively pursued publication, pitching it to editors at writer conferences. And so since that time, I think I'm on writing book number 10 right now. So since 2013, it's only been a little over a year, and yeah, it's been a ride. Inspiration comes from everywhere. That's a common question that authors get. But I find that as long as I'm out and about living my life, it'll come. I mean, it doesn't come in a vacuum. You can't sit at home and expect it to strike like a lightning bolt. So I had it one time when I was in the movie theater and I was watching the trailers before the movie starts, and I just, bam, an idea came into my head, and so I pulled my phone out and I put notes into the note app so I wouldn't forget. How many times did I submit a manuscript before I was accepted? I was very lucky. I went with a completed manuscript to the California Dreaming Conference a couple years ago, and I set the intention to pitch to as many editors and agents as I could. Some people normally only get 1 or 2 appointments normally at these conferences to meet with them, but some people canceled their appointments, so I had extra ones, and I left the conference with 3 requests to see the complete manuscript. And it was accepted by Decadent Publishing, and that doesn't happen for everyone. Writers, it can take years sometimes of trying. I have an author friend now who she's been submitting, she's finished several manuscripts and has been submitting for a while and still hasn't gotten a contract. But I think if you just keep trying, it's going to happen. I've been published since 2013, so the first one came out in October 2013. It was called Rockstar X, and then shortly following that, Stealing Cupid's Bow came out. That was published by Decadent Publishing, and then Extreme Heat, and I have the Cougar Journal series, which I worked on in 2014, and I'm finishing the series off now in 2015, so I have a lot going on. Do I have rituals or routines when I sit down to write? Okay, so a big cup of coffee. With coffee, you can dominate the world, so that's, and definitely, I'm visual. I like paper. I have a corkboard and a whiteboard, and so definitely I like to know where I'm going. One of the main things I do to stay on track and to keep moving forward is I have a timesheet. So I literally clock myself in. I write what time I start, what time I stop, what did I work on, how many words did I put down during that session, or if I did research, I record that. And that way I never err on the side of either laziness or workaholicism. You stay balanced somewhere in the middle. So that's my process. The timesheet is the key. My writing process, that's a question that always comes up with authors. Are you a plotter or a pantser? And I'm going to say I lean more towards the plotter side. I'm very organized, and I find that when I do get lost in my story, it's because I haven't figured something out, or I haven't made a decision to point my brain in that direction. And so there are moments where I flow with the writing. It takes an angle I didn't think it was going to, but usually I'm writing to a specific scene or a specific point in the story. So yeah, mainly a plotter. I think I didn't really feel like an author or felt like I could tell other people I was an author until I actually got a contract. And that's when I finally let the truth out of the closet and would tell people that, yes, I'm an author. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think, sometimes when you have dreams, you have to protect them, and you have to protect them from the doubts of other people and just really believe in yourself. And so that's how it was for me. Yeah. My biggest challenge writing overall is there's so little time, and you're trying to balance everything you need to do, because it's not just writing. It's once the book is out, authors still need to work on marketing. We do a lot for ourselves these days. And so whether it's marketing or turning your book into audio or trying to get foreign translation, there's a whole host of other things, even social media, trying to keep up with social media, that you need to balance this whole load as an author. And so trying to keep writing just as all that other stuff is happening is the key. Before I published my first book, what I wish I had known was how many other things I would be required to do. Gone are the days where publishers do all this marketing for you and give you huge royalties or advances. I wish I had known to take the time and start working on all my social media, work on a newsletter, get the blog set up. And because each of those platforms, it takes time not only to set up a profile, but also to get used to how to use it, because they're so specific. The followers expect a certain kind of content. You can't just share the same content across each area. It has to be tweaked just a little bit so people will pick it up and respond to you. And so I wish I'd had more time, because after the book is out, you don't have that time. The time is gone. So if I had known, I would have sat down and I would have systematically done all these things on a more relaxed way. I measure my success. I actually read the reviews people post about my books, because I'm curious. Again, my goal, I feel that if I've written a book that has lifted someone out of their daily grind just for a couple minutes and helped them to see something they normally wouldn't, then I know I've succeeded. And so I know you can't please everyone. Obviously, everyone's gotten a 1-star review here and there, but if the majority of people are pretty happy, then I know I'm successful. To find out more about me, you just go onto my website, jewelquinlan.com, and from there you can find all my social media links. You can find excerpts of my books, you can listen to samples of audio, and you can also subscribe to my newsletter.